Thank you.
Thank you.
I asked Juwan about coaching his son, and he said everybody's going to get coach tired, but they definitely are.
Yeah.
Talk about the dynamic as you watch him. Two sons on the roster.
Yeah, you know what, man? I mean, he's been preparing for this all his life. And I think that it's one of those things that, and I know that he's had conversation with other coaches who have gone through this before. And it's one of those things that is the greatest joy, and probably, one of those things where, because you know the kid, you know he loves you, right? So you can coach him hard. Right, but at the end of the day, when practice is done, he's dad, right? And I think Jace and Jett have done a tremendous job, and coach, because it's a three-way thing, right? I think they've all done a really good job of having that understanding, and the ultimate coach, Janine, I'm sure is when they all get home and sitting around the table, then she becomes the boss. So, but I know Coach is having fun with it. You'll probably see him, go at Jason Jett, during the games. But like I said, when it's all said and done, he's still dad.
Good deal.
Yeah, thanks.
So Juwan said he didn't know if he's harder on them than the rest of the team. He said he didn't know. So I'm curious, as a guy who works for him and who watches the team, coaches the team, do you see him go a little harder at his boys and the rest of the squad? How's that dynamic?
I would say he is very direct, and but he's like that with all of our guys. And again, it's almost like when you're talking to your kids, there's a special language, right? You have a family language that everybody understands. And but I do believe that both Jace and Jett have done a great job of being learners. Like, I don't, from my lens, right? This is an outsider not being in the Howard household, but from my lens, it doesn't appear that they take that personal and carry that with them, right? Like, because if you don't coach them hard, then everybody's looking around like, they got a free pass, and if you go overboard, it's like, you're not doing that to the next guy, so why are you doing it with your son? So I think Coach has really actually been handling it pretty well so far in terms of trying to strike that balance.
So what about the balance that Jace strikes? How does he treat little brother compared to the rest of the team? Because let Jett tell you, growing up, he was always harder on him than the rest of the crew. So are you noticing that?
No, not so much. I think that there's always that natural sibling rivalry, but they have it in a very healthy way. And they go at each other at practice. And like I said, sometimes I'll stir the pot from time to time. But also saying that, I think Jace has done a great job of being a mentor to his younger brother and helping him in different situations, helping him, trying to bring him along. Because again, he's a freshman, right? Jett is a freshman. He don't know what he don't know, and so there's that duality, that dual hat that Jace wears. So. But in order for both of them to be their best selves, you have to have that competitive nature.
All right, so Kobe, Kobe more than anybody.
Yeah.
It was a transition year for him.
Yeah.
Now, you know how talented he is offensively. Heard Juwan talk about really feeling like that's going to show more this year. Do you see that? What difference do you see from him from year one to year two? And do you see a difference in him vocally? Because he's a quiet guy.
Yeah.
Is he still as quiet a guy on the floor?
Not on the floor, no. I mean, like he's operating now with a different kind of swag. And when you operate like that, when you have confidence in the preparation that you put in, he has put a great amount of time in his development this spring and summer. Whether it was in the weight room with Sandman, whether it's film sessions with the coaching staff, and just even in his own personal workouts. He's done he more than anyone probably watches the most individual film on his own, and then also with the coaching staff. So when you're seeing the game and learning the game from that perspective, and then you get out on the floor and it's time to execute those things, you start seeing some success. And he had a great lens to watch Eli Brooks do it, right? Eli Brooks was one of those guys who 95% of the time he was going to make the right decision, and so I think he saw how the benefits of stuff of that kind of attitude.
All right, so what about Hunter? We saw the growth in his game on the floor last year as a perimeter element, but the challenge that Juwan talked about, challenge him to be more of a leader.
Yeah.
So now you're not just the guy that they're going to have fun, but they got to follow you.
Yeah.
Has that been a natural process for him, or do you guys have to continue to challenge him to do that?
Yeah, I think it's an evolving process, you know, one that Hunter is up for the challenge for. You know, I wouldn't say, you know, like in my time, we've had some alpha dog leaders. I wouldn't characterize him as an alpha dog leader, but he's a guy now that's willing to use his voice. And I think that he's been a great mentor to a kid like Terrence Reed, very much the same as Austin Davis was for him. And I believe that he's really understanding the value and the power of his voice and what that means to the success of our team.
Saddi Washington, appreciate you, man.
My man.